The warm sun glistened over Lake Victoria as Kisumu City bustled with life. At a quiet hotel by the lakeside, the aroma of fried tilapia and fresh ugali filled the air as people enjoyed their lunch. A young woman with a rucksack slung over her back walked confidently into the dining area. She spotted a lonely man seated by himself, and with a soft smile approached his table. "May I sit down?" she asked politely. "Why not?" "Please sit down," the man replied, standing quickly to help her pull out the chair. She introduced herself as Violet, a new arrival in the city for her college studies. The man, Ken, welcomed her warmly and even offered to pay for her meal. As they chatted, Ken praised Kisumu as a city of adventure, tourism, and learning. Violet, flattered and relieved to find kindness in a stranger, felt comforted in her new home. Later that evening, Violet found herself in Polyview Estate, standing before a stunningly furnished house. Ken opened the door with a warm smile. "Welcome to my humble home," he said, ushering her in. Violet's eyes widened as she admired the polished furniture and cozy atmosphere. Everything felt expensive, yet inviting. "Please have a seat," Ken offered. As she settled in, he retrieved 2 sodas from the fridge, his grin stretching from ear to ear. "Here's to new beginnings," he said, handing her a chilled bottle. Their conversation turned light and friendly until Violet mentioned she was still searching for a place to stay. Ken leaned forward, his tone almost protective. "Then your search is over. You can live here, free of charge. This house is too big for one man." Surprised, Violet protested, but Ken insisted. Generosity shone from him, and she couldn't help but smile at her unexpected stroke of luck. Morning sunlight streamed into the kitchen where Violet hummed softly, preparing breakfast. The kitchen was well stocked, and she felt grateful for this new chapter in her life. Ken strolled in with his usual wide smile. "Good morning, Violet," he greeted warmly. "Good morning, Ken." "I slept like a log," she replied, her eyes sparkling. Ken chuckled, assuring her that the neighborhood was safe and crime-free. But Violet surprised him with a secret. "I'm not afraid. I can defend myself. I'm a black belt holder and a sharpshooter." Ken's eyebrows shot up. "Oh my God, that's impressive." He admired her confidence, but reminded her to focus on college. As he left for work, he dropped a spare key on the table. Violet urged him not to be late for supper, confessing the house felt lonely without him. Smiling, Ken promised to return. Their unusual companionship was only beginning. After breakfast, Violet tidied up, humming happily as she washed her cup and plate. Slinging her rucksack over her shoulder, she stepped out into the vibrant Kisumu streets, her spirit light. Ken's generosity had made her feel like the luckiest girl in the city. At the college gate, students bustled about, some cycling in, others arriving in sleek cars. Violet spotted her friend Gloria and waved cheerfully. "Good morning, Gloria," she greeted. "Good morning, Violet," Gloria replied, smiling back. Excitedly, Violet shared her news. "I found a room yesterday. Can you imagine? In Polyview." Gloria gasped. "That's an expensive estate," Violet grinned. "I'm not paying a single cent. My landlord is rich. He doesn't need my money. I even share the kitchen with him for free." Gloria frowned, her instincts unsettled. When the deal is too good, think twice. Something about this sounds off. Violet shook her head, dismissing the warning with a smile. Evening fell, and Violet sat in the living room, textbooks piled high on the coffee table as she worked through her assignments. The front door creaked open, and Ken entered, his arms weighed down with heavy shopping bags. "Welcome back, Ken," Violet greeted warmly, rising to help. "Don't worry, keep studying," he said, carrying the bags into the kitchen with a smile. Moments later, he slumped into the couch, sighing in relief. "My day was fine." "How was college?" Violet's face lit up. "Fantastic. I made new friends. The students are lively, and the lecturers seem good." Ken's smile faded slightly. "Be careful. Some lecturers prey on girls, taking them out for drinks, then into bed. They'll promise you grades." Violet shook her head firmly. "I'd never stoop that low." "Passing exams with integrity matters," Ken chuckled darkly. "Never say never. The world is wicked these days." At college the next day, Violet and Gloria sat outside the library, chatting on a slab. Gloria gave her a teasing smile. "So, how's your man?" Violet laughed. "He's fine, and for the record, he hasn't made a move on me." "He's harmless." Gloria shook her head. "Harmless? A man and a beautiful girl under one roof? That's like a leopard living with a goat. Impossible." But Violet defended him, insisting Ken was a true gentleman. Their banter soon turned playful, and the girls burst into laughter, teasing each other about their beauty and future husbands. Later, as they parted at a junction in town, Gloria poked fun again. "I must meet this landlord of yours. No healthy man resists a girl like you. Maybe he's, different?" she teased, laughing. Violet giggled, brushing it off. "He's just a kind man, nothing more." But Gloria's eyes lingered with quiet suspicion. One quiet evening, Violet was scrolling through a message on her phone when a sharp knock rattled the door. She opened it cautiously and froze. 2 policemen stood outside. "Is Ken Henry in?" one asked sternly. "No, he hasn't come back from work," Violet stammered. "Tell him to report to the nearest station. He's wanted for questioning about a body found in a quarry," the officer said coldly. Violet's heart raced. A body? Before she could ask more, the policemen turned and left, their batons tapping rhythmically against their palms. The next day, under heavy skies, Violet sat with Gloria at the football pitch, worry etched on her face. "My landlord." "The police want him for murder," Gloria gasped. "Violet! This is dangerous. You barely know him. Please run before it's too late." Fear gnawed at Violet. The stranger, who had seemed like a blessing, now cast a terrifying shadow. Saturday morning, the door creaked open and Ken staggered in. His clothes were filthy, his hair wild, and his grin unsettling. Violet's stomach knotted. "Ken, what happened to you?" she asked cautiously. "Nothing much. Rough day at work," he muttered. Her voice trembled. "The police came looking for you." "What did you do?" Ken's face darkened. In a flash, his hand clamped around her throat, squeezing hard. Violet gasped for air, clawing at his grip. He hurled her to the floor, his eyes blazing. "That'll teach you not to open my door to strangers," he roared. As she coughed and struggled to rise, Ken pulled a machete from his back, advancing menacingly. But Violet reacted swiftly, springing into the air with a flying kick that sent him staggering. A gun slid into her hand, and with icy precision, she fired twice. Ken collapsed, lifeless. The city's most wanted killer was no more. The gunshot echoed through the house, leaving an eerie silence broken only by Violet's heavy breathing. Ken's body lay sprawled in a pool of blood, the machete slipping from his lifeless hand. Just then, Gloria burst into the room, her eyes widening in horror at the scene. "Violet, what have you done?" she whispered, trembling. Violet's expression hardened, her secret finally revealed. "It's over, Gloria. He was the city's most wanted killer. I was sent to stop him." Gloria staggered back, shocked. You're not just a student?" "No," Violet replied firmly, her voice steady. "I'm an undercover agent. My mission was to find him and end his reign of terror. Now it's done outside," sirens wailed faintly in the distance. For Violet, the mission was complete, but the cost weighed heavy. The mask of innocence was gone. She was not just a survivor, but a hunter who had triumphed.